Hi, welcome back to Shawnee Hills. In a future video, I'm going to be installing this mop sink here in my basement mechanical room. I'll also be installing a pump to pump the waste up to tie into the new plumbing. But today what I wanted to do is give you a quick tour of my mechanical room here, explain why I've done what I've done, and also what the future plans are for the renovations. In this corner is where all of my utilities come into the house. This is a manifold for the propane. We currently have a propane tank at the back of the property, and it comes in manifolds and goes to all the different fixtures. Now you can see I have a lot of room for growth, and that is for planned fixtures in the future. I even have some pipes already ran, and that is because we haven't got to that part of the renovation. I had to make sure when we were finishing the basement that all utilities were in place, whether we were using them or not. So we have a fireplace upstairs, a stove upstairs, a grill in the back of the house, and then one other fixture that I can't remember that'll all be plumbed into this. Currently we have the two continuous water heaters and one fireplace that are plumbed in. Above this manifold, we have another manifold for the refrigerant. I have an LG variable refrigerant flow system. So I have one condenser and currently have 3 indoor air handlers. 2 of them are in this mechanical room, 1 is in a mechanical closet. And then I'll be adding 2 more air handlers when the second story goes on the house. But the refrigerant basically comes in through 2 lines and then branches off and goes to all the different air handlers. Now here I have 2 continuous water heaters. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce this. I've always called it Navian. That may be wrong. But what I like about these in particular is that they have a recirculating pump for the hot water built directly into the units. Right now we're not recirculating any hot water, but when our master bath is finished upstairs, it'll have a recirculating hot water that'll come on a timer. So if our alarm is set for 6 a.m., at 5:55 the hot water starts recirculating, so we have hot water right at our shower nozzle as soon as we turn it on. Also have the condensate pump. These high efficient units do produce condensate. We've got the venting going out. And I don't know if you can see above, but here is actually one of my cables coming in from my breaker boxes. Now because I have 2 breaker boxes and have this large cable running in, I actually had to install disconnect outside, so I have a means to disconnect the power to this wire before it gets to my breaker box. In this corner I have my hot water and cold water manifolds and expansion tank. I'm a big fan of PEX, but more specifically I'm a big fan of Uponor. It's more flexible. I think it's actually classified as PEX A or AquaPEX. I'm not sure on that, I can't remember. But Uponor PEX is much more flexible, it's harder to kink, and if it does kink, you can heat it up and it'll come back. It can expand. In my opinion, it's just a better product. Now, it's also a little more expensive. So from this, I come from my main on my hot and the main on my cold, and I go to each fixture or set of fixtures through the house. So if I want to shut off any restroom or a kitchen, one lever will shut that whole kitchen off. So I have 2 means of cutoffs. I have a shut off here and a shut off directly at the fixture. Now if you notice, a lot of these are left empty and a lot of them are shut off right now. The shut off valves are for future. We're planning on adding a second story to this house, so I have all my piping already stubbed up where the restrooms will be and where the laundry room will be. So they're there and waiting, and they're shut off right now and capped off just in case somebody accidentally turns the valve on. The ones with no pipes on them are actually open right now. I have no plans for the future. I need to probably go ahead and put a little stub out here with a cap on it just in case somebody accidentally turns one of these levers. Here are 2 of the LG air handlers I was talking about earlier. Both of these sets of refrigerant lines come from the manifold on the other side of the mechanical room, and this air handler serves the upstairs kitchen and living room, and this air handler serves the entire basement. So the last wall is my electrical wall. I have disconnects for my heat pumps and the electric heat in them. I have a transfer switch, which nothing's wired to now, but I wanted to prepare everything for the potential of putting a generator in the future. This panel has all of my lighting and all necessities on it. It'll be hooked to the transfer switch. So in the case of a power outage, I'll be able to just run this breaker box and have all the necessities throughout the house. All of these coils are for the lighting. Each room has its own breaker. Now I'll be planning on putting relays on each one of these coils. Once I get my control system wired in, I'll be able to turn on or off the lights in any room in the house from my phone or any computer connection. This panel is for electrical connections that I've deemed non-necessary in the case of a power outage. Still a lot of things that we need: dishwasher, receptacles in certain bedrooms, but things that definitely aren't a necessity. Well, that wraps up the tour. I know not everybody geeks out about mechanical rooms. I'm a mechanical engineer, so things like this are really exciting to me. Hopefully some of you all enjoyed it. If you got any specific questions, feel free to ask. I did the majority of this work myself, so should be able to answer any questions that you have. If you enjoy my videos, please take the time to like, subscribe, comment, share. All that stuff really does help. Until next time.